All right, we're going to do a quick little training here on visits 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are kind of the most critical visits we have because it gives patients ultimately the introduction to our practice and then kind of sets the framework for moving forward on there. So visit 1, pretty simple. Patient comes in. Biggest thing is that first impression, that welcome part of it, and truly being excited that they're there. Give them some energy at the end of the day. Use their name. Maybe ask a few questions about them, build some rapport with these people that it's the first time they're there. And you have to always kind of realize that in most cases, people are going to be a little bit nervous about being there. It's a little bit outside their comfort zone. Some people are scared. Some people they don't even want to be here. There's a lot of different things that we're kind of having to overcome to begin with. So that welcome, that rapport piece is pretty critical from there. The next piece is giving the paperwork to them, which we keep in a file. You can obviously use a clipboard with that as well too. And just the words we use is important, and letting people know there's just some quick paperwork that we're going to be using with them. And in most cases, it really is. There's some basic information they fill out at the top, a little bit about their condition that they have on there. There's an initial condition assessment on here as well too, where they're putting some of their initial complaints, checking some activities they're living down, and putting some basic information down there. And that is it. There's not a whole lot. We then take this first visit sheet that we have on there, patient's name, ID number on here, date of birth that's on there, because we're going to need that if we take x-rays with us. We need to have that filled out before it comes back with us. We as the provider will fill out what we did back there when we deliver it back to the front. So that's in there. And there's also an exam form that's included with that. The patient does not need the exam form or this first visit sheet on the clipboard. They just need the intake form and their symptom form to begin with on there. So those two things go in the clipboard, hand it to them, you can explain to them, fill the top out, check anything applies here. I need 2 signatures on the back here, which we then sign as well too at the bottom, just to acknowledge that we got it. These 2 things that are done, and then these things are all loaded back together, go on the clipboard, and then put outside of the room that the patient's going to be in on there. So paperwork is pretty simple. Just help them through the process and let them know that, again, this isn't some huge detail thing. We're going to ask a lot of questions. It's a formality piece. They need to fill it out. So not to get concerned about it. But the other thing we need to do is when we hand them the paperwork, just say, you know what, do you have an insurance that you'd like us to check benefits for on this visit? And a lot of times they'll give you a card, take it back, take a photocopy of it, front and back photocopy of it, hand the card back to the patient at that point so we don't keep it. And we can then check the benefits from it from there, because we do that between visit 1 and visit 2. By visit 2, we need to know what their insurance shows on there. So pretty simple with that. Once they got that done, the paperwork done, real quick tour of the office. Hey, let's take you back, Mary, over to the right down the hallway here. These first 2 doors, there's restrooms, men's and women's restroom there if you ever need them. Down this hall, Dr. Jeff is on the left, Dr. Brett, Dr. Cameron on the right on here. This first room here is where you're going to be doing an exam at. Take them in there, help them grab a seat, and you just ask them as well too, is there you like a water or anything like that I can get for you on there. Just basic customer service stuff that's on there. When the patient's back delivered to the front, you're going to get that first visit sheet that's going to come back up to you. It's going to show the charges that are on there. If we absolutely know a patient's insurance, we will use that. If we don't know at that point in time, they pay the cash fee, the promotional fee, whatever it is, or if the doctor has something different set up with it, they will tell you that when they deliver them up to the front that's on there. So that's something to just look at, make sure that sheet's they tell you what happens. The doctor's going to tell you on the sheet what they did, as well as too, we're always going to say, like, let's get them back here in a couple days, get them back here in 3 days, get them back next week, whatever it is. At that point, when the doctor leaves, it's just the simple question. Let's get you scheduled first. We don't do payment first. We always do scheduling first. Let's get you scheduled first next week, or if it's 2 days out, say it's a Tuesday, is Thursday is it better in the morning or afternoon for you at that point? Or if we say, you know what, first part of next week, is Monday or Tuesday better for you based upon when that doctor's availability? Always give them the 2 options. It's never, when do you want to get back in here? It's, is this one or this one better? Well, Tuesday's better. Great. Morning or afternoon? Afternoon. 3 o'clock or 4:30 we have open there. Which one works better? 4:30. Great. We got you down for 4:30. For today, for the x-rays, exam, adjustment, whatever we did, here's what the total is. At that point, you want to do cash or how would you like to pay for that type of thing. So it's just a simple, you're helping them along in the process with it. It's just, again, basic customer service stuff with that. If there's questions about insurance at that point, just the simple answer to that is on your next visit, the provider will be going through all that with you, and we'll have all the exact benefits for you at that visit on there. So that way we're just avoiding those issues with it. If somebody has real problems with anything at that point that you can't solve, just, hey, you know what, let me grab the provider here quick and they can help answer some of these questions. We're always going to have a little bit more credibility with them because we just spent 20 minutes with them, 30 minutes with them, an hour with them, depending on what's going on right off the bat. So always leverage that a little bit from a standpoint of if you feel like you aren't being able to kind of get them where they need to be at that point, pull us back in at that point. Let us help solve the problem before that person walks out. If they walk out, they don't feel like the problem's solved, they're probably not coming back at that point. We just got to get them from visit 1 to visit 2. And that's why we get them scheduled relatively quickly that first 2 days, maybe 3 days after that first visit, so we can follow up, see how they did, and based on that, we give them a better idea of it at that point. So, and that's what I would do as soon as they're done and they're checked out. You know what? We look forward to seeing you on Thursday. They'll go back through a little bit of what they went through with you today, and then we'll do a little more work, and they'll give you a little more direction at that point in time, just so that way they kind of know what to expect on there. So that's visit 1. That's the most full visit out of anything that we do. Second visit on there is very simple. Second visit, when they come in, again, great greeting. If you remember something from last time that you guys talked about, ask them about that. Ask them how their experience was the first time. Get some rapport built with them. At that point, once they're ready to go back, and if a patient's really early, keep them up at the front for a while. We don't want them sitting in a room for 15 minutes by themselves type of deal. And you'll get an understanding of kind of the flow of things as things go on there. But get them back to the room then at that point, and Dr. Jeff will be in here in just a couple minutes, put their file back in that door, make sure the provider knows that that person's in that room. Provider will see them. They'll then, at that point, after they've adjusted them, checked them, they'll bring them back to the front. Let's get Mary scheduled for her third visit here, beginning of next week, the end of this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it is. Go through that scheduling thing again where is Thursday or Friday better for you? Or is Tuesday or Wednesday better for you at that point? Whatever those things are that help create some consistency to getting an answer that's a lot more specific, and you control the conversation. That's the whole idea. Payment-wise, second visit, we don't do anything with that second visit unless otherwise noted. If the patient asks about it or this and that, we'll get all that stuff figured out in your next visit. The doctor's going to go through game plan moving forward, including financial stuff at that point, and we'll figure it all out at that juncture of it. So pretty simple with that. That's the explanation as well too of what's going to happen on next visit. Third visit now comes up. This is what we call report visit or kind of plan visit. Like what's the game plan? Same deal as the second visit. Patient comes in, welcome them, get them back to the room in the appropriate time. We don't want them sitting too long up front, not too long back in the room. Want that middle ground there. It just helps keep the perception of time waiting down. Split the time up a little bit on there. Provider comes in, goes through everything, goes through the financial stuff, which is going to be all put on this first visit sheet here as well too, where we're going to put our plan stuff into these columns, what any monthly payments are, insurance, no insurance, things like that. We're going to go through that with them. When we deliver them back to the front at that point, we will tell you exactly what the patient is doing at that point. Are they going to do the plan? Are they visit by visit? What the rate is, this and that. All your job at that point in time to do is just complete the process with them. And the process is simple. Same thing we did before. Let's get you scheduled first. If they're a person who's going to have repeat visits, hey, let's get you scheduled over the next couple weeks here. It looks like you're a couple times a week. Let's get next week and the week after pre-scheduled, the next 3 weeks, the next 4 weeks, whatever it is, let's get them pre-scheduled. There's less time they spend in here then. It's a better experience for them overall. Get those things done and down with there at that point in time. Get their schedule figured out. Next, hey, let's get this plan gone through here. Any questions on what the doctor went through? Nope, great. Here's a couple policy things at the bottom. Read through it with them on there. Simple as that. Ask them then, do you prefer your payments on the first of the month or the 15th of the month? Great, 15th. What card would you like those put on? And get the card, put that down, enter the information in the computer system at that point. You're ready to go. There's really nothing else you have to do with it at that point in time. So that's basic. They're scheduled. their payment's ready to roll at that point in time. And the last thing you say, you know what, on your next visit, we'll show you warm-up stuff, how to check in at the office as well too, and you'll go right back with the doctor. We don't have to send you back in the room anymore at this point in time. So very simple, very, very easy. The last thing I always say with this is give them some confirmation over the decision they made. Reinforce it. Hey, you know what? I'm so excited the fact that you're starting here. You made a great choice. You're going to do well here. And that type of stuff goes so far with patients on that, because we as providers and for yourself as well too, you're going to see the results here. And you're going to notice like, man, people really do get better quick, and they are raving fans of ours. They're still in that new phase of like, am I in the right spot or not type of thing. I hope I made a good decision. Reinforce the decision. Help take some of that doubt out of there. Get them excited about being here as well too. That's an important part of their care. Visit 4, very simple. Patient comes in. We teach them how to check in on the iPads. You show them how to punch their number in, how to fill out the symptoms on there. And we explain to anybody as well too that when they check no symptoms on there, their insurance no longer applies at that point in time. So the simple conversation is, you know what, over the last week, 3 days, whatever that distance is from last visit, put everything down that applies, symptomatically speaking, so that way, like I said, we can show an insurance company, whoever that may look at it, that this is exactly where you're at right here. When you don't check these boxes because you want to save some time, they don't know what's going on. Therefore, they're going to deem that non-medical necessity. Therefore, insurance companies will not pay for it at that point. So it's important they fill it out fully. So you're going to teach them how to do the warm-ups, the wobble chair. They're going to do 10 movements side to side, 10 front to back, and then 10 circles, both different directions as well too. When they get done with that, we explain to them, as soon as you finish your wobbling, you can go in that room as somebody. If there's a table open in the room, go in the room, go face down on the table. If the tables are full, just wait here. And as soon as somebody comes out, you can go back in, and then same thing, go face down table, let your body relax to allow your body to be a little bit more mobile and for the adjustment to go more smooth for them. So simple with that. And to check back out, same thing, reinforce with them, ask them, like I said, how their first regular visit was at that point in time. And we always give them a voucher as well too, a voucher to give to somebody else. At this point, most patients are starting to feel better. They're like, man, I should have done this before. They start thinking about all the other people in their lives, their spouses, their coworkers, their family members, whoever that could use this. We give them a voucher to give to somebody that gives them a chiropractic and a massage visit for a significantly discounted rate on there. It's great for a referral program. It's great for those people to help other people as well too. So that first 4 visits, formal for the most part, yet we try to keep it casual with them, keep them comfortable with it, but give them direction. Again, speak the truth in here. Help these patients start making better choices to take ownership over their situation on there. So again, visit 1 through 4.